Are you looking for a unique way to double down at Friday Night Magic? Well, you're in luck, because today we're going to cover just that in a series I like to call Game Winning Jank. So without further ado, have you sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for dropping by and your ongoing support. My name is Patrick, host of the EDH Brutality YouTube page, in which we upload Magic the Gathering content and analysis every Sunday. Before we jump right into today's video, I just want to note that I have taken a look at my analytics, and we're roughly 1,200 hours and 200 subscribers away from finally being monetized here on the YouTube channel, which is super exciting. I've never had a channel that's been monetized before, so I'm really going to be pushing for this, and if I have to make more uploads, I certainly will, and I'll stockpile them and maybe start uploading more than just once a week going into the coming year. Until then, you can expect my long form content to continue to be posted every Sunday, with my YouTube shorts being posted on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And lastly, as always, a quick and special thanks to patrons like you for making videos like this possible. YouTube is quite time invasive and it is not cheap, so I really do appreciate your support. With that away, we can jump right into today's video, which all happen to revolve around defensive PILLOWFORT combos.
Self-defense takes a lot out of you.
The first of which starting with Web of Inertia. For 2 colorless and 1 blue mana, this enchantment spell reads: at the beginning of each opponent's combat phase, that player may remove a card in his or her graveyard from the game. If that player doesn't, creatures he or she controls can't attack you this turn, which on its own is quite the cheeky card. Unfortunately, however, it is also just as easy to get around. So to prevent this downside, we pair this with an enchantment known as Rest in Peace. Rest in Peace is a 1 colorless and 1 white mana enchantment spell that states, when Rest in Peace enters the battlefield, exile all cards from all graveyards. If a card or token be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead, which in turn takes Web of Inertia and makes the effect permanent with no downside, preventing all players at the table from attacking you.
Yo, what the fuck?
Because after all, how is one going to remove a card from the graveyard if graveyards no longer exist? And if you want to prevent further damage, more specifically non-combat damage, Rest in Peace also pairs beautifully with an energy field. Once again, coming in at 1 colorless in 1 blue mana, an enchantment spell that states, prevent all damage dealt to you from sources you do not control. When a card is put into your graveyard, sacrifice energy field. Once again, a great card with a pretty large downside that Rest in Peace entirely takes care of. Because after all, if graveyards don't exist, thanks to our Rest in Peace, no cards will ever go to the graveyard, meaning energy field will never be sacrificed.
I like this. This is cute. I want this inside of me.
That's enough internet for me today. I am going to wash myself with holy water to get rid of all the stupidity I saw today.
If you like that though, stay tuned, as our next synergistic combo within today's video is that much better, with our setup being Greater Oromancy, coming in at 1 colors and 1 white mana. This enchantment spell reads, other enchantments you control have Shroud. Enchanted creatures you control have Shroud, which is just part of the puzzle, because if this is paired with a privileged position for 2 colors and 3 green or white mana, we'll entirely lock out our opponents from targeting any of our permanents. As privileged position states, other permanents you control can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. And of course, if the hexproof and Shroud lock is not enough protection for you, we can always add in cards like Avacyn Angel of Hope, making all of our permanents in play indestructible, as well as Platinum Angel, preventing our opponents from winning the game and preventing us from losing the game. This too can be done quite easily thanks to cards like Defense of the Heart, which if one of our opponents have 3 or more creatures on board, Defense of the Heart will sacrifice, or we can tutor up 2 creatures from within our deck and put them directly in play, making our board state an absolute nightmare to deal with. But if you're looking for a real nightmare, our last synergistic combo within today's video will probably prevent people from ever wanting to play with you again. As we all know, Avacyn Angel of Hope is super strong on her own. After all, she's indestructible herself, and she makes all other permanents you control also indestructible. So let's double down on these Anthem-like effects and generate a new Anthem of our own with Enchanted Evening for 3 colorless and 2 white or blue mana. This enchantment spell reads, all permanents are enchantments in addition to their other types. And what's so special about this card specifically, unlike Avacyn, is Enchanted Evening does not just affect our side of the board. No, that's right, it affects the entire table.
I don't get it.
Which can then lead to plays like Cleansing Meditation. For 1 colors in 2 white mana, this sorcery speed spell states, destroy all enchantments. Threshold, instead destroy all enchantments, then return to play all cards in your graveyard destroyed this way. And the reason this is important is due to Enchanted Evening. Since Enchanted Evening makes every permanent in play in enchantments, the Cleansing Meditation wiping out all enchantments will wipe the entire board clean, lands included. And of course, thanks to Avacyn Angel of Hope, our board will be the lone survivor. And if we want this combo to have even more teeth and make it repeatable, we can then play a Serenity. Coming in at 1 colors in 1 white mana, this enchantment spell reads, during your upkeep, bury all artifacts and enchantments. Which is pretty nuts if you were to ask me, because this effect happens on each one of your upkeeps, meaning your opponents will never be able to rebuild any of their board. Or in other words, your opponents lose their boards permanently, and you lose your friends. I think it's a pretty great trade. I mean, think of it this way, no more birthday parties, no more events that you have to carefully plan out and ones that you do not want to go to, no more dates to remember. It's just a win-win in my book. And of course, a play like this can easily be snuck on the table with cards like Academy Rector, who simply is a 3 colors in 1 white mana cleric that reads, when Academy Rector is put into a graveyard from play, you remove Academy Rector from the game. If you do, search your library for an enchantment card and put that card into play. Then shuffle your library. So all you really need to do is for this old granny to die for you to win the game if you have the correct pieces on board, which of course can easily be done as well with a sack outlet such as High Market, which becomes even dirtier if done on the end step right before your turn, giving no time for your opponents to react. And with a tutor like Academy Rector, we can grab any piece of this puzzle, whether it is our Enchanted Evening, a Serenity, or even any of the other previously mentioned enchantments within today's video. Because after all, sometimes the best defense is a great offense.
Even on total strikes.
He needs some milk.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed today's synergistic plays and hope they aid you in your next night of Friday Night Magic. As always, if you have a synergistic or janky combo you would like featured in the next episode, be sure to leave it down in the comment section below. And with that out of the way, if you want to stay tuned for future videos here on the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell down in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Because after all, my name is Patrick, host of EDH Brutality. I thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.